this. On February 13th, Michael Flynn resigned as the president's national security advisor amid an outcry over his ties to Russia. On February 14th, Comey says he was asked to drop the FBI investigation into Flynn. The president allegedly said, "I hope you can see your way clear to letting this go, to letting Flynn go. He is a good guy. I hope you can let this go." Comey agreed. Flynn is a good guy. In his memo, he didn't agree to drop his investigation of Flynn. On May 16th, the New York Times publishes a story detailing the memo. The White House quickly issues a statement with no name assigned to it, denying the president had asked Comey to drop his probe of Flynn. Debbie Hines is a D.C.-based trial attorney, a former prosecutor, and writes the Legal Speaks blog. Your reaction to the naming of the special counselor today by the DOJ?
Well, I definitely think it had to be done. I mean, Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein had to do something to show that there's not going to be any firings of anyone, that this has got to be done by an independent special counsel for the sake of the country.
If you, as a prosecutor, saw the memo from Comey, what would be your concerns? What could you do with that if you were part of this investigation?
Well, you know, as a prosecutor, we look at all pieces of evidence. So everybody's focusing on the memo, and the memo is a bombshell. There's no doubt about it. But when you look at everything in the totality of the circumstances, that allegedly President Trump asked Comey for his allegiance to him, his loyalty to him, which Comey demurred on that Flynn resigned, and then immediately thereafter, the day, President Trump then says to Comey, "Oh, could you find your way to kind of sort of drop this incident?" And then we have Comey being fired because obviously he didn't allegedly give any loyalty to the president, and he didn't drop the investigation. So when you look at it in that light, it does look like it's some obstruction of
How do you know this memo is authentic to what it says? How do you know it wasn't backdated? How do you know this memo wasn't written, at the time that Comey said?
Okay, so Comey is very smart. And I will say this, in my practice, I have always done memos when it's anything that I think could be problematic down the line. So he knows about that. He's a career prosecutor. He knows what to be done. So
and he tells people about the memo.
And he tells people. That's what you do. You tell people about it, you document the memo, and you do the memo as soon as you possibly can. You don't try to wait a day or two. You do it as soon as you can while it's fresh. So we'll have to hear from Comey, but that is what he did, and I know that is what generally is done when you're trying to document.
The White House initially said, the president didn't do this. Then it becomes, more recently today, he disagrees with how he stated, what happened in that conversation, but no flat-out denial this time, and no tweets from the president today weighing in on this. Okay, Debbie Hines, thanks a lot for coming.
Thank you, Bruce.
All right.